Okay guys, I'm here today with Gordon Ryan, huge honor for me. Guys, Gordon today is gonna show us here all about half guard passing, no gi. So let's do it, Gordon.
So first of all, we looked at half guard passing a lot and systematically attacking the guard that we released in 2019. That was my first jiu-jitsu instructional. And we covered the whole system of guard passing, and now we're kind of take each individual system, body lock passing and half guard passing, and we're going to dissect those and get into very specific techniques with those guards. So the first thing we're going to look at is, of course, ways to get chest to chest against my opponent's, either high knee shield, low knee shield, or butterfly guard. So my opponent can use either a high knee shield or a low knee shield where the legs are typically locked, or with a butterfly guard like so with his lower body. And you can use a combination of upper body grips. He can have his hands in tight where he doesn't really make grips on me until I come forward towards him. He can use a double shoulder post, which will stop me from coming forward towards him to get to his upper body. And he can use what most people use, what most high level people use, a cross shoulder post, where now from here he has one arm that dominates my shoulder line and manages distance between my chest and his, and it gives him a second hand which will stop me from getting to a collar tie or a crossface, and give him the luxury of being able to scoop inside my leg and shoot into deep half guard and things like that. So the first thing we're going to look at is how to get past my partner's top leg. This is a thing that I've spent so much time on through my blue belt career, trying to get past his annoying top leg from half guard and trying to get past my partner's upper body frames. If he can keep the inside position with his upper body and all of his limbs inside, I won't be able to put any pressure on him. So my goal is to find ways to get past this upper body position and get to a situation where I can either pass by getting to a chest-to-chest position here, where I can dominate the upper body inside position, or at the bare minimum, switching my hips to get past his knee shield and getting to this over back grip, where now from here I can go into various passing methods like so, or submissions, or of course going in and using this to flatten my partner out and get chest to chest and half guard. And then a big portion of this instructional will be passing from half guard and the why behind why I would use certain upper body grips versus another. Why would I use a top head and arm over just a cross face? Why would I use a top head and arm versus a head block and an underhook? Why would I use a top head and arm in certain situations versus over under or versus double under? And when is the best time to use each given upper body grip? Because there's a multitude of upper body grips that you can use, but certain specific scenarios call for one versus the other. And if you use one versus the other and it's not the right time, you can get rolled over or off balance, and your partner can recover and then go into attacks. And then finally, we're gonna look at, of course, your opponent going into offense with an underhook, trying to either one, come up and wrestle you from here, and how to keep guys down and go into finishes, or at least keep them down and then flatten them out and go back into half guard and passing. We're going to look at defending deep half guard, where my opponent goes to go in and starts going into deep half guard, where we go into passes or other various attacks, submissions, back takes, things like that. And then finally, we'll finish with our partner building up towards us and us going into just our underhooks, passing with those, and passing with body locks from half guard, and then we'll finish it off like that. So it's a multitude of different passes from half guard, ranging from them going into attacks, ranging from you trying to get chest to chest, getting chest to chest, getting to an over back grip, and then going from passes from there.
Well, Gordon, I think anytime anybody watches you competing, anytime you're passing, you're trying to engage your opponent, engage your opponent, engage your opponent. Anytime you get the half guard, it looks like the match ended there. Because from there, things just get much worse and worse and worse and worse. Normally I go to the mount from half guard, most of the time that I watch at least. And when you get the half guard, when you get chest to chest, what goes on your mind? Like, I won the match, now this guy's completely in trouble?
Pretty much, yeah. I consider myself, if I'm trying, I usually build to a peak in matches, so I'm not really trying my hardest to finish a guy right away. But if I get to half guard, I know that if I'm not going to finish the guy as soon as I pass, he's going to be exhausted if he does escape, he's going to be exhausted by the time he escapes, and then I can start building my pace up from there. But it's a similar idea to what you see Hodger doing. Hodger's entire goal when he fought was to force guys into a bottom half guard, and then instead of passing to side control, he usually passes directly for mount, and then he either finishes from there or takes the guys back. So I think there's a lot to be said for that. When you look at the greatest of all time, his entire guard passing strategy was to force the guy into a bottom half guard and then pass from a chest-to-chest position. Because half guard, when you get chest-to-chest, it's very exhausting for your partner because they know that if you do pass, you're going to score and then possibly submit them. And so they're freaking out to try to get everything back in place and recover their frames. But the whole time, they're carrying your body weight chest-to-chest. So it's a very exhausting position. It's great for pinning your partner's head and shoulders. And it's great to use the passive side control or take your partner's back or go into other attacks or mount the position.
No, and you mentioned Roger, and another thing that's very similar between you and him is that anytime he would get the mount with gi, boom, he would get a submission from there. And I think in no gi, I mean, like, you are by far the person who has the best mount ever, like in Jiu-Jitsu, I think. Never saw anybody no gi that gets the mount and like has like 90-80%. So your whole system is kind of like, the way I'm gonna kill this guy is get in half guard, and from the half guard I'm gonna go to the mount, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Usually, especially my most recent matches, is something I've been working on a lot. Like my match against Wagner, it was flatten him out in half guard, pass the mount. Roberto Jimenez, flatten him out in half guard, pass the mount. Jacob Couch, same thing. It was flatten him out in half guard, pass the mount. I've been doing this a lot in my recent matches. I've been working a lot on half guard passing. And most of my passing is built around forcing a guy into half guard. Whether I use Toriandos first, I eventually end in half guard. Whether I use body locks, I step over a knee and I end up in half guard. And half guard is where the magic happens. You force a guy into half guard, chest to chest, and then there's no rush from there. People get so overzealous about passing that they make a mistake or they rush too fast and they get off balance or rolled over. I hang out in half guard for 1 or 2 minutes. When
I watch you, that's kind of like how I feel. Like you accelerate. When you get the half guard, looks like you're almost like resting there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like now the person is a huge struggle. Like.
Yeah, because from half guard I am resting there. I've used a good amount of energy to force half guard because no one wants to get pinned in half guard. So now it's my time to rest, and he's been using usually more energy than me to stop me from getting to half guard, and now I get to rest, and now he has to use a lot of energy in order to escape from half guard. Yep. And this is not technical, but tactically over 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 plus long minute matches, it starts to get tiring for the guy on bottom. And that's a big part of what I've been doing is forcing guys into half guard and then letting them work. And as they make mistakes, I don't really move until they make a mistake, and then I capitalize on their mistake and then move forward.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so guys, Gordon just shot an entire instruction all about half guard passing, no gi. And if you watch him competing, just go to YouTube, watch him. Anytime he gets the half guard, it's done. He's gonna go from there to the mount. If he doesn't get the mount, he's gonna get it back, and the match ends there. So make sure to check that out. It's gonna be very soon at BJJFanatics.com, and maybe by the time you're watching, it's already there. So thank you, Gordon.
Yep.
Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.